The following is sponsored by our friends and community supporters at McNeese Wheeler Attorneys. McNeese Wheeler is a boutique law firm in Spokane, handling matters in both Washington and Idaho. Areas of law include business law, wills, trusts and estates, family law, personal injury and wrongful death, and real estate matters. For your full-service legal needs, contact McNeese Wheeler Attorneys. Welcome to On the JoB with your host, Lynn Parrish, editor of the Journal of Business. On the JoB is about the Inland Northwest business community, where you'll hear firsthand the backstories from the men and women reporters at the Journal of Business. On the JoB is brought to you in part by McNeese Wheeler Attorneys. Here's Lynn.
Welcome to On the JoB podcast with me, Lynn Parrish, editor of the Journal of Business. Paper came out today with a big story at the top, written by Mike McLean, our deputy editor, who is making his podcast debut today.
Oh.
Welcome, Mike. Mike wrote about this project on the West Plains, the likes of which the size of which we haven't seen in recent years, if ever, in the Spokane market.
It's hard to imagine.
Yeah. And so we'll get into the details on this real quick. Now, I'll tell you, this is one of those stories where nobody would talk to us, so we relied heavily on documents that we could secure. So why don't you tell us what you learned, what we know for sure from the documents that we were able to use.
Okay, well, we know that the county is looking at it's called a pre-application. It comes in before they actually apply for building permits, but it's titled on the county's file Super Duper Project Rose, and so just that name sounds pretty fun to us. We were able to obtain some information about the scope of it, and it looks like it is a distribution or fulfillment center being planned that's going to be have a footprint approaching 700,000 square feet.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like there's an aggressive construction timeline for it, even though the details haven't been announced by the project owner yet. So,
Sure. So we don't know for sure who's doing it yet, but we know the size and also the location, right? Where precisely is it going to be?
It's going to be on the north side of Geiger Boulevard, roughly halfway between the airport, the west end of the Spokane International Airport, and on the east side would be the Medical Lake I-90 interchange.
Okay, so it would be a project that if you're driving toward Cheney from downtown Spokane, it would be to your right as you're passing the airport, basically.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Great. So now, 700,000 square feet. I think your story said that with several mezzanine levels, it's going to be. Go ahead.
Yes, it would total 2.5 million square feet, which is again really hard to imagine. Like for instance, I tried to think of the biggest industrial project we've seen lately, and that was the Caterpillar plant, which this at 2.5 million square feet, this Project Rose would be almost like stacking four of those Caterpillar plants on top of each other. And
sure. If you've been by the Caterpillar plant, it's hard to imagine something 4 times that size on the West Plains. Pretty amazing. And then you had a comparison to the Spokane Valley Mall too, right?
Well, yeah, I thought that I don't I thought that would be a good thing to compare it to, for better or for worse. The Spokane Valley Mall has about 750,000 square feet, so this would be like more than 3 Spokane Valley malls.
Mm-hmm.
So just in the square foot, the square feet of floor space.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
So we don't know what company is planning that facility, but we have a strong suspicion that it's Amazon.
Right.
And so could you kind of tell me how you came to that conclusion?
Well, I saw it described as a distribution center or a fulfillment center, and just that size is consistent with what Amazon has been building for its fulfillment centers. And those are big warehouses where they print orders, when a customer makes an order, they'll print the order and ship it out from that facility. And their Amazon strategy is to try to have these in places where they can deliver within 2 days or sooner any
Sure.
item that's ordered.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And so it's similar in scale, but also there are some other commonalities,
Yes.
right?
Well, I saw the Project Rose is similar to some of the names of other projects that I've read about as I was doing research on Amazon fulfillment centers. For instance, in Jacksonville, there's 2 of them, 2 recent ones built. One's called Project Rex and one's called Project Velo.
Mm-hmm.
And there was one built recently in Kent called Project Wolf.
Okay.
These are all have footprints roughly the same size that's described in Project Rose, and all of them have over 1,000 employees.
Oh, that's great. Which brings up a good point, because on the plans that we saw, I believe it was somewhere in the order of 1,900.
Close to 1,900 parking spaces, and for a fulfillment center, that's not retail shoppers coming
Right,
there.
right.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Interesting. Very interesting. Was there anything else about this project that you wanted to talk about?
Well, I that's about what we know. We did discuss the timeline's looking pretty aggressive. We saw an invitation for bids that's due on Monday. So
Mhm.
and then tentative award on April 26th, I believe, and construction to be complete by August 2019, end of August, I think.
Yeah. Well, all kinds of questions come out with it too. If it is Amazon, is there any possibility of grocery delivery here, like they've talked about doing in other markets, and all kinds of possibilities that are opened up with a facility like this, if it is indeed Amazon that's opening this facility.
Well, yeah, and another thing we could mention is this is within the new Airport Public Development Authority.
Oh, good point.
So
Good point.
so that could have helped attract this, because that authority was made so that the infrastructure could be built to attract this kind of development. The authority has bonding authority to fund some infrastructure,
Mhm.
and incentives for companies that want to accelerate that.
So they could have been sowing the seeds for a project like this for quite some time now.
It's possible. It hit us all of a sudden last week.
Sure.
But I imagine it's been in the works for a long time.
Yeah, great. Well, it's a heck of a piece of reporting. Please check it out. A couple other great stories in this edition, including one about big project at the INB Performing Arts Center as well. So thanks, Mike. Once again, heck of a job on that story. And please check it out, SpokaneJournal.com, or pick up a paper where you can. Thank you.
On the JoB is produced in Spokane, Washington by SpokaneTalksOnline.com, which is solely responsible for its content. On the JoB is brought to you by our friends at McNeese Wheeler Attorneys. Ask Lynn a question, recommend a guest, and hear this program again online anytime at SpokaneTalksOnline.com. The following is sponsored by our friends and community supporters at McNeese Wheeler Attorneys. McNeese Wheeler is a boutique law firm in Spokane, handling matters in both Washington and Idaho. Areas of law include business law, wills, trusts and estates, family law, personal injury and wrongful death, and real estate matters. For your full-service legal needs, contact McNeese Wheeler Attorneys.